people just started like bombarding me with being like, "Were you gonna have snacks and water at this thing?" And I was like, I was like, "This is it's a hardcore show. Like, why are you so pressed about there being snacks?" And so, and then we did.
What is up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. This is another episode of the Scoped Exposure podcast. Hardcore's a funny thing. You make friends through this scene and through this, community from places around the world that you never thought you would even meet said people from. And when I think about Oklahoma and I think about Tulsa specifically, that was not on my hardcore bucket list whatsoever when I was getting into this, but I'm so glad that I got to cross paths with Aaron. And when we were talking about the fest and talking about doing an episode around the lineup and kind of doing what we did last year, where we kind of got to talk about the bands and the lineup well before the official announcement was even out, that was definitely something I wanted to jump at as soon as possible for. So I am very excited to once again be welcoming Aaron of Flyover Fest to the podcast, as well as James of Flyover Fest and Time and Pressure. Thank you guys for joining me tonight.
What's up?
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Before we get into the episode, we just wanted to quickly talk about a good friend of the Tulsa community, Tyler of Cliff Diver, was in an unfortunate accident, like super recently, just within the last couple of days. I'm going to pass it off to Aaron just to share some of the details about what happened and how people can support him during a very challenging time.
Tyler and I are co-owners of a all ages music venue here in Tulsa called Mass Movement Community Arts. And he also plays bass in a band called Cliff Diver and just super involved in like DIY music in Tulsa. And he was involved in just like the craziest fucking freak accident that any of us have ever heard of. If you really want the details, you can go check out Cliff Diver's statement either on Instagram or Twitter. But they've set up a GoFundMe for him because his road to recovery from this accident is going to be like insane. Like he basically is going to be immobile until his carotid artery is completely healed. And so he needs all the help that he can get. And I just wanted to get that out there first before we even jump into anything else. If you have the means to donate a little bit to him, you'd be helping a great guy.
Yeah. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Tyler, but reading the details of that on Twitter just the other day it was one of those things where it was like potentially dodging a bullet altogether, but still like having an insane next period of his life to kind of get back on his feet. So when the hardcore community hurts, we all help each other at the same time. So the link for that GoFundMe will be at the top of this episode. Definitely go through, throw Tyler a couple bucks if you can. And yeah, so now that we've gone through that, we're going to talk all things Flyover Fest. Formally Act Like You Know Fest, and then formally before that Promcore. This is a fest that, Scoped has not only been able to cover in years past, but, I've had the pleasure of playing it myself, as well as James, who's involved in the fest this year. But, James, I think it would be cool. We were talking before we get going as far as, we've both played said fest when Time and Pressure was doing that a couple years. It's been 2 years that Time and Pressure has done that, correct?
Yeah, we broke up in 2021, I think.
Right. Yeah.
That was the last
I think
year
we were the
played.
one that filmed that last set, which playing the side stage was absolutely crazy, the response for you guys.
I watched it like a week or two. It bums me out, obviously, now to watch it, but I watched it not too long ago. It was a good one. That was a fun weekend for us. Everybody, like every friend that we have made musically at that point was there. Mm-hmm. So it was just pretty much just hanging out all weekend.
Yeah. So maybe let's start before we get into the actual lineup of things. Like, talk to me about, you know, booking a fest in general is a huge venture for any one individual, let alone two, three, or four. So how did the James joining the fest planning and logistical things come into the picture? Was that very organic, or was it getting to a time area where you were like, I need more hands on deck for this shit?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember, but the after the fest that you came and shot, we went to that Mexican restaurant that was by my house,
Yes.
and we were sitting in the drive-through. You know, it had been 2 days plus a pre-show that year of everything, and I remember telling you that I was just wiped out, like doing this entire thing on my own, and then you know, telling you that I had ideas for maybe like doing a full 3 day and you know, bringing a team of people on. And so then the next year came, and you know, that year James did all the artwork for it and everything. But I also found myself like constantly just messaging him, being like, "Hey, this is what I've got. This is an idea that I have." Just because I know he's got booking experience from, you know, different places,
Mm.
and he was just really instrumental in helping me when it came to kind of making decisions. So he was kind of involved in the booking process last year, even, you know, and then he came down to the fest and helped to work and stuff like that. So I don't know, I maybe 2 3 days after 2022, I sent him a message and was like, "Hey, do you want to help me book it?" And he was like, "I don't know, let me get back to you." He didn't know if he wanted to do it. And then like, I think a day later, he was like, "Fuck it, let's do it." So
Mm.
yeah,
I have
pretty.
a bad habit of like agreeing to something immediately and then being like 3 days later, be like, oh shit, I made a horrible mistake. My wife
Yeah,
always tells me, she's like, dude, just like stop saying yes to everything until you like sit and think about it. And I was just like, for a few days, I was just like, I'm not doing it. No fucking way. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't live there. It's far away. No, I'm good. I don't need that headache. And then
Mm.
I started thinking about it. I was just like, but it could be really cool. And I do miss booking stuff. And I was just like, you know, everything in my life is going too well right now. So like, let's fuck that up a little bit and book
Yeah,
and book
let's
a
throw a little
fest.
chaos into the mix.
yeah,
So James, like, maybe this is more grandiose, like, why question, like, you know, out of it's not like every single hardcore festival, big or small, is knocking at your door being like, "Hey, do you want to help with this?" But why specifically was like, well, Flyover, like working with Aaron, that totally makes sense. Was there a specific thing that like really struck a chord with you?
So when Time of Pressure first started out, um, Tulsa kind of became like a big jumping off point for us.
Mm.
Aaron actually asked us to play 2019, which we'd only been a band for like less than a year at that point. So we're just like, yeah, we'll do it. And he actually was talking to our singer about it, and then we met that weekend. That was our first like bigger like out of town type of thing. Like we had done a bunch of weekends and some touring around that point, but that was the point where things kind of clicked for us, and it just kind of like it spawned a lot of relationships, and it helped us kind of like in an odd way meet up with other bands. It helped kind of like solidify things with us and Chemical Fix, and like this Defeater tour that we ended up doing later was from the video that was shot at that. So it Tulsa just became like kind of a big thing for us. So we always went back whenever we got asked. So it just, I mean, we kind of have roots there.
Mm.
So it just always it. I mean, we've gone. We played the 2 years, and then I went last year. So it's just kind of like it just kind of made sense.
Right. This is a place I'm going to be at the, you know, at the very end of November. All
Yeah,
years given.
yeah. Especially after last year, after not playing it and just kind of hanging out and then like helping Aaron with some stuff and then doing all the artwork. When he approached me about it, I was just like, you know what? Yeah, this makes sense. I'd rather not do this with somebody else. So might as
Yeah.
well just do it with somebody I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. And it's always like great to, whether it's your local fest or the one that you've been going to year after year, to actually
Yeah,
see it grow and to see it blossom. And, you know, like, I vividly remember just walking in day one and just being like, "Oh, this is what this week is." And I like had a big grin on my face, and like,
yeah,
you know, that was, I think Split was the second band that played or something like that. But it was like, ever since then, like, so many bands had great sets, so many bands like had just great things to say. And yeah, it's really cool as someone who also considers themselves from a more underdog scene, something that doesn't like has to work 10 times as hard to get a fraction of the notice, right?
yeah.
But yeah, it's been really cool to see how this has grown. And we're gonna get into talking about some of the stuff as far as how much it's grown. But yeah, the snowball effect is clearly working for both of you guys.
Yeah, I think this year has been really cool. I with my past booking and stuff, I have a tendency to steamroll and just be like, all right, you suck at this. I'm better than you at this. Just let me do everything. But with Aaron, everything's been like super collaborative and like it's been really cool. Like our relationship, we've gotten a lot closer as like friends and stuff too.
Mhm.
Because before it was just more, I would see him like once or twice a year. We'd say hi. He'd send me some bands for the fest. Be like, that band sucks. Don't do that. That band's cool. That's fine. And then ever since then, I mean, it's just we have a good working relationship, and I think the fest kind of shows that. And I've always liked his mentality with the fest. It not only being like a benefit for Oklahomans for equality, but the whole focusing on smaller bands.
Mhm.
And one thing I've really taken away from working with him is the thought of investing on bands. So like we'll start talking about bands early in the year, just like I think this band's going to put out a record in 6 months and it's going to be huge. Let's get them now so we can kind of just like grow. It's basically it's like growing and investing, just kind of betting on bands that we think are going to do well or
Yeah.
bands that we like really believe in. So I've really kind of like the booking process of this has been way less painful than anything I've ever booked before in my life, surprisingly, for a 3-day fest.
Right. No, I love how you painted that as far as investing in bands, because I think out of any other fest across the globe that I've seen Aaron have this pulse, and I've said this to you before, Aaron. Like, I feel like you just have this pulse on when a band's got like the juice and when things are gonna pop, and being early to those things is a bit of a it's a bit of a like a humble brag as far as I got to book this band before they blew up and before they became household names. But I think clearly it had a cause and effect for Time and Pressure to like go out and do more and connect with more bands. And like even for myself, like Endgame kind of had like it's kind of in a weird state right now, but I felt like that weekend alone we were able to connect with so many cool bands. Like we got to like ride up with Mexican Coke from Houston, which was like a whole venture of its own. Like there were so many like memorable things from that weekend. But yeah, I think obviously not every bet that you make for a band of any fest is always going to work, but like always being willing to at least try and make those investments is a legacy and a feeling that I have for this festival year over year. And I'm looking at the lineup that's down here, and it's there's a lot of it's cool when I see a few returning faces and a lot of ones I'm like, okay, that's cool that they're on this, because I see the incline start to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important to I don't know, I think our fest skews really young anyway, like
Mhm.
attendee wise and band wise. Which is good because it's a 3-day fest. So you gotta have young legs to be able to go for that long. Um obviously with headliners it's going to be something that draws like more, but I think it's just cool to like give a band maybe that isn't going to get that opportunity to play something like this is hardcore and LDB, and not because those bands aren't deserving, but because those fests have just reached a point of like being so like they're the cream of the crop type thing, you know what I mean, like
Right.
elite tier festivals. And so that's how they're going to book. And so that's I think we're trying to grow this like in a similar way, but I hope that we always kind of have that mentality of, trying to find what's going to pop next. Not that we're like, I'm not like an A&R guy, you know what I mean? I just kind of try to pay attention to what's going on in hardcore and see who's talking about who,
Mhm.
and, reach out to those bands. I think Ankle Biter's a really good example of that. Like,
Just gonna say
I
that.
don't know,
Yeah.
like that. And it's cool because they always talk about it. Like before I ever even heard music, I had reached out to him and was like, do you guys want to play? And it was just their online presence I thought was like really funny. And like the way that they were presenting themselves, I just thought was like really young and cool. And so, uh, I took a chance on that. It could have been terrible, and it ended up probably being
Probably
like
having one of the best sets of the weekend.
one of the best sets of the weekend. Yeah, for sure.
Totally.
So, and then I love those people to death. Like I'm stoked to see what they're doing. They got a record coming out like Friday. So yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah, wait,
yeah,
tomorrow?
Yeah,
Yep.
by the time this comes out, it'll already be out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, shout out to Ankle
Yeah.
Butter. Go listen to that.
I got to hear it in advance, and it's top notch. Really good
Top
stuff.
notch.
Yeah.
Sick. Okay, guys. Before we're gonna get into this this lineup of mass destruction here, this is a not an unconventional episode, but it doesn't follow the simple, interview one-on-one format. So I'm realizing that we totally missed the bev check portion of this pod.
Yes.
James is all ready and eager to go.
I like went to Florida last week and brought
Just for
drinks
this.
home. Brought drinks home because I knew we were going to do it at some point. I just didn't know when. I knew I'd keep drinking, so I brought extras. And I've been waiting. I've been
James, you're my kind of guy.
This last one. Oh, this is so great. I thought we were going to pass it up. I was like, this is horse shit. Like, this is not what I signed up for.
Bad podcast. James, it would be a shame for you not to go first with such excitement. So tell me what you got, bev checks.
I have two.
Okay.
So I carry this water bottle around with me everywhere I go, and it's full of this like bootleg Crystal Light from Walmart.
Okay.
I don't drink soda, so I just drink like 4 of these giant bottles every day. But for this specific special occasion,
can you show the water bottle? The background was fucking with the stickers. It's important to see. You got the GGR sticker, the hard lore, the
Heroes and Martyrs.
Okay, dope.
Best label.
When it's covered, you know it's good.
Yeah, it's got like layers to it. It's like a protective layer at this point. But yeah, strawberry lemonade from Wawa.
Wow. Okay.
Oh no, it's blurring out. There we go.
There's been no Wawas ever checked on here on the show. I
had pineapple lemonade from there. Straight up the best thing I've ever drank in my life.
Really?
It was so good. It's not, none of this is like carbonated or anything either. But oh my god, the pineapple lemonade, fucking choice.
Interesting.
But the strawberry's fine. But pineapple, I bought every single one that they've had and like shoved it in our suitcase when we came back, and then I ended up drinking them before this. I tried to save one. I was just like, dude, I kept trying to ask Aaron. I was like, when are we doing it? Like, I don't know yet. We got to figure it out. It's like, dude, fuck it. I'm just gonna drink it, and then I'll talk about it.
Well, it sounds fantastic, and pineapple lemonade is a combination I never even imagined would
it's
be
definitely
possible.
more pineapple. It's more pineapple heavy than lemon.
Well, pineapple is a pretty dominant type of flavor.
Yeah. So some people,
right?
I know a lot of people that just like straight don't like pineapple. I love pineapple, so I was all about it.
Yeah. Give me some pineapple lemonade with some pineapple Hawaiian pizza. Send me to my grave.
Dude, or even Dole Whip. Pineapple Dole Whip. Oh my god. There's a place in Cleveland that has it, like a few minutes from my house, and it's great.
Aaron, what do you got, bev wise?
I have a very boring Arizona Arnold Palmer. So
nice.
Just tea and lemonade.
James seems disappointed.
That's the
He is disappointed.
That is the most elderly fucking drink that you could have picked.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Might as well just have like a glass of warm milk.
You want a cookie, Grandpa? Okay. I was like, okay, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll go a little just basic or whatever. But I needed to run to grab a dessert for the missus before I jumped on the podcast. And then I was like, oh, wait, I can get a dessert bev for the podcast. So I went to my local ice cream spot and got this is wild. It's a cappuccino crunch milkshake. It's insane.
I'm gonna have to take you to Brahms when you're here in November. I think I told you about that on the phone.
Brahms.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
you you did mention that.
Yeah,
I haven't had Brahms since I was like a kid.
I think we're gonna touch on that later, like a guide to Tulsa for when everybody's here.
Yeah,
at the
please.
fest. But yeah, you got to go to Brahms.
Okay, Flyover Fest 2023 lineup discussions. Cheers to all of y'all. Shout out to Wawa.
The best.
Okay, so the last time we did this, Aaron, we worked support bands alphabetically, and then we moved on to the headliners. And there's a couple of headliners that, as far as when this episode drops, there's a few secrets, some of which I may know of or not. But
Yeah.
let's start with the lower text, the non-logo bands, as I like to say. We can go as far as, I'll just let it naturally happen who wants to talk about what band more. But the first one that I'm personally very excited to see on this bill, a Canadian up and coming huge band, in my opinion, is a Morning Star from Vancouver. Talk to me about booking them specifically as one of your, I've always seen, you guys try to book at least one Canadian rep year over
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, I think it's important. And I think they're just a really good band that does metalcore really well. It's definitely the way that I like it. I think that record coming out on Days, right? That's the
Yep.
label that they're on. Yeah.
Mhm.
So obviously, they got that rub, which Lumpy's got great taste as well. So that's a band that I'm really looking forward to bringing here. And it's always cool when we can bring a band here for the first time. I think that's like one of my favorite things about doing the fest is, it's good to have some repeaters on there, but like if I can get somebody that's never come through, that's always really exciting for everybody here, just because of where we are in the country. Like we don't get a ton of that. So yeah,
Right.
awesome band. I'm excited to see them.
Next up is a returning act, and one that we've already mentioned, multiple times, and has a new record out, is Ankle Biter. Obviously, their set from the year prior was well warranted for a re-invite, but were there any particular things that you were like, were they just a no-brainer band? They were like, of course we're going to have them back for year 2.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the first ones I thought to bring back. I just thought they had such a great set, and I think that this year will be even bigger. And I just want to see them have an even bigger like reaction than they did last time. So I think it'll be really cool. Yeah.
Do you think the 420 jerseys will return, or we'll get a new mean jersey?
I don't know. I'm sure they'll do something special for it. They don't seem like the types that would just like bring T-shirts and hoodies with them. There's definitely going to be some kind of special merch drop. Dude, the comments on the Hate 56 video when it came out were just so fucking funny to me. Yeah, because people were like, I don't understand. They're straight edge, but it says 420. And people are like, that's the bit.
That's the joke.
That's the joke, man.
That's the joke.
If I have to explain the joke, it's not funny. Yeah.
So, excited to have them.
James, because you didn't have the maybe the evil scheming that Aaron did when it came to seeing Ankle Biter online and then booking them, like, were they like well on your considerations as well, or like maybe that's a broader question as far as like how does this whole thing work? Is it like throwing things back at one another and seeing what sticks, or was there like you pick this many, I pick this many?
I heard the Ankle Biter demo when it came out last year, and it ended up being like one of my favorite. Any band that puts tambourines in their hardcore, I'm a sucker for it. I love it. So there, like we had like very specific discussions about returning bands for sure, because we didn't want a bunch of repeats. There's only a few, I think. I think there's less than 5, but we didn't want to have a bunch of repeats, especially from the year prior. But they were one. I mean, I was there. The set was wild, so it was just kind of like, this makes sense. They've got a lot of steam behind them. It just makes sense for them to come back.
Yeah.
When we kind of went through this, it was more or less just like, all right, we had a huge list. And then we kind of narrowed it down a little bit more and narrowed it down a little bit more. And then we both just kind of said like, all right, fuck it, let's cast a net. And then we realized after a while, we're just like, oh shit, we have like 50 bands for over the next. And it's like, well, I guess this is a good thing that it's 3 days.
Right.
Yeah.
So next up is potentially the band that has the most unique hardcore name that I've heard in a while, Bazooka Tooth. I know nothing about it, so someone take the reins here.
This Bazooka Tooth is like my baby being on this. I love that band. Time of Pressure played with them a few times when we played Tennessee. They're from Nashville. I think they're a 4-piece now. It used to be a husband and wife would play guitar, bass, and they would sing, and they had a drummer. But I think he's gone from bass to just singing. And then they got a standalone bass player. It's just like really good. I don't even know how else to describe it. It's just really good. And it's like fast.
It is really good.
Got like melody parts. They just have like a funky name. They're the sweetest people. and it's really good. I was just like, that's one of the first bands that I thought of. Just like, I want
Mhm.
Bazooka Tooth to play because they don't get a lot of bigger opportunities like that. It seems like they do some weekends, and I think they're all just kind of busy with just their lives, so they don't get to do a whole lot. But they were the
Hmm.
first band I reached out to. I was just like, you guys should play this absolutely because I haven't seen you in like 3 years, so this is a good opportunity for that.
I saw they're playing Dumb Records soon up in Springfield, Illinois, which means they're going to
Yeah,
have like an incredible show because those people
I think that's
only put on bangers.
I think that's tonight actually, or no, it's
Oh,
tomorrow.
really?
Drew's driving up from St. Louis to go see them.
Oh, cool, awesome.
Cool. Well, I'm just as excited. Name alone is interesting, but if it's just good, that I trust you guys fully with that. Next up is a band called Brat.
It's
I'm
not
a
the
little.
Baltimore one. It's
Oh, it's
the
not the Baltimore one.
it's
Okay.
not the Baltimore
No,
one. It's one from Arkansas, or is
New
it
Orleans, I
Louisiana?
think.
New Orleans. That's
Yeah, I
right,
think they're from Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Every fest has the death metal band. This is our death metal band.
Oh,
One of our death
Brat.
metal bands.
Brat sounds like maybe like to me that just sounds like a punk hardcore name, but that it's death metal.
There's
It's like
some
kind of a
elements.
it's kind of a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a cool bit. Aaron, I'm a big fan of like really bad like white girl pop. So like Lady Gaga, Britney Spears, stuff like
We're
that.
frozen again over here. Sorry.
They sample Britney Spears before songs and stuff. I remember seeing a Hey 5 6 video of it. And I was just like, I love this. I love that so much. So yeah, it's just like really straightforward, like blast beady death metal.
Cool.
I it's just a little something. We're trying to throw a little bit more some curveballs in, some like palette cleansers, like some cleaner sounding bands, and then a little bit more of like the death metal stuff, just because like that's having like a big moment right now. So
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the band is cool, and the drummer plays the biggest hi hats I've ever seen in my life. I think it's actually two.
yeah,
I think it's two crash cymbals put together as hi hats.
yeah.
I mean, that's a vibe for sure.
Yeah.
Next is a name I'm very excited is on this is Candy Apple. They've kind of been like I haven't really been seeing them do a lot recently, so to see them on this is interesting. What's the thought process there for them?
I They don't play very often, especially in the middle of the country.
Mhm.
I like Candy Apple a lot. I like. I think they put out a new 7-inch either this year or late last year that I really liked, and we kind of made a concerted effort to go a little bit more punk on chunks of this year. I was just like, dude, that's a good like medium because it's punk, but it's not like alienating like goofy shit. I think it'll just be a good like kind of palate cleanser in the middle. I think they're playing Friday, and Friday leans a little. Friday, Friday at this point kind of seems like a Convulse Records showcase because there's a ton of their bands
Yeah.
throughout the weekend.
I got no problems with Convulse being all throughout any day of any fest. So,
For sure. Yeah.
So next up is this band I got to see when I filmed the fest in 2021, and I think this might be one of my favorite local acts just because I'm a sucker for the riffs. Caustic. They didn't play last year,
No.
right? No.
No, they did not.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Local band to Oklahoma City. You saw them pretty early on in their tenure as a band, and it is like a whole other machine now. Like
okay.
they have just
They've grown into their BC riches.
Dude, it's so good now. It's so good and it's so tight, and they are just an incredible band, and they're still so young. Like if they keep on the trajectory that they're at, I think they'll be a huge band at some point. And they get a lot of really cool opportunities. They get to play a lot of shows locally, and local band wise, I really wanted to kind of flip it up this year from what we did, and so it was they were high on my list to get on this year.
Yeah, like they opened the Saturday of 2021.
I believe so. Yeah,
and I felt road weary because of filming so many goddamn bands the day before, and the day even before that. But like that woke me up when I saw
Yeah.
them. And to hear that they've upped their game 2 years later, and have become a force to be reckoned with, that's very exciting.
Yep.
Next up, another Canadian feature, and a lot older of a band that's played this fest before is Cold Shoulder.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Stop it.
Drummer of this band thinks he has a good street sweeping company and all that, but yeah,
Kids and all that. Yeah.
yeah. I would
die for Adam Cameron.
I would die for Adam Cameron as well.
He's my favorite person in that band. Bro. Mike, their singer, garbage. Worst person I've ever met in my life.
Isn't that the guy who said he's stronger than me on the internet?
Yeah, he skips legs. Yeah, he doesn't do legs. And I watched that video so many times. I messaged him and I was like, I cannot fucking believe that I laughed at something that you did. He's like, where's my protein? That fuck. Oh my god, it killed me.
Dude, that's the most viral thing that I've ever posted. Like,
I saw how much traction it got.
Dude, it's got. I have to check now. I'm sorry.
I think the last time I saw it, it was at like 177,000 views or something crazy like that.
Well, while you're checking, I'll talk about them. Yeah,
let's keep the train rolling.
Some of my favorite people in the world, to be completely honest, like they've played Tulsa a lot of times. Like they've got a lot of ties here, and the last 3 or 4 times that they've come through Tulsa, I always put them up at my house. So this will be another version of the Cold Shoulder hostel at Aaron and Maddie's place, and it'll be in competition to see who's the better house guest, them or In-Game from last year.
Yeah, I feel like In-Game was pretty good.
You guys are
hospitality wise.
Did Cold Shoulder play 2019?
No, they played 2018, and then they played that little Murder Fest thing that you guys played.
That might be. We met them, or we became friends with. I think Drew booked them actually in St. Louis one time.
Oh, okay.
And we became friends with them because of that.
Great band. So
great
good.
Band.
Yeah.
That reel has 300,000 accounts reached.
Wow.
Jesus.
That's
too many people looking
look
at
the circle.
So
that little sliver is our followers. So yeah, shout out to Mike, shout out to Cold Shoulder. Great band. Really excited to see them and get to hang out. Next up, Contention. Some Florida straight edge?
Yeah, Tampa. Yeah.
Tampa? The little sliver? Talk to me about them.
I actually have wanted to book them for a couple years, and I couldn't make connection with them or something, like just like logistically it was not something that I was able to make happen. But I reached out to them and they were all about it. I think they're just a really good band that do that style of hardcore really well. And again, I try to focus on people that haven't been here as much, you know what I mean? And give them some shine and give this part of the country like a taste of what's going on elsewhere that maybe they only get to see in videos. So really excited to have them out.
I'm trying to think of other Florida bands that have played the fest in years past.
Because Body Box last year.
Oh, Body Box, yeah.
Yeah, Body Box, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exit Strategy played a pre-show in 2019, I think.
The one with Race Trader?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'd have to go back and look at everything. But yeah, haven't had a lot of Florida bands, so excited to have them on for sure.
Yeah. Another band that played last year, but the after show, Days Lost, was that kind of like a follow-up? Like you played the pre-show, come on for the main thing next year?
I don't know if it was a follow-up. I feel like we always kind of include them in one iteration or another. You know what I mean? So when they were Purgatory before, it's just kind of like, I don't know, some of it's tradition, like just having certain bands play, you know what I mean? And I think that there's really great ass beater music, and that's the vibe for Saturday. So I wanted to have them on, so we just invited them to come back, and they're playing, so we're excited for that one too. I'm excited to see them play like on the big stage too, in front of like a giant crowd instead of 3 a.m.
So.
Yeah, Yeah.
Next up is a band I'm not 100% really in the know of is Doubt It. Love the band name, but who wants to give me context about them?
I don't want to speak out of school, but I'm pretty sure they're from Detroit.
Yeah,
I know
it's
yeah.
what's that band Short Leash? Remember Short Leash?
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
cool.
is it them?
The guitar player, the guy with the mullet and the pointy guitar, looks
Oh, okay.
fucking cool as shit every time he plays
Yeah.
guitar. He's in that band. I can't
Okay.
remember his name right now, but Short Leash played St. Louis a whole bunch of times and Drew booked them.
Yeah, they've played
I think
Tulsa a lot before too. Yeah.
I think it's members of Short Leash.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I really like it. Definitely hardcore. Kind of got like a cool like rock and roll vibe to it as well. So like a little bit of a different like flavor of hardcore. But like super upbeat, like really dancey, like just fun band. Like I think it's like a really like fun time when they play.
Yeah.
And they're doing Tied Down, or they did last year. So
okay.
you know,
Yeah.
yes, I think they're I think they're playing Tied Down this year. I'm pretty sure they played last year as well. So you know, just excited to get a new band out this way. I've been talking to them about it. I think they might have been the first band that we booked, because we were trying to maybe work it out for them last year, but we were just full. And so when it rolled back around, they were the first band that I you know, reached out to and was like, okay, you're on for sure. You know, let's do it. They're really excited to come. I'm excited to have them.
Next up is Downward, another band that I'm a little green to.
Okay, so they're also a local here in Tulsa. On sorry, my brain. New Mortality.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Morality.
Morality. God, my brain. See, sorry. Just edit it.
Just edit it.
Studio Magic.
Please edit it. Please edit it. Yeah, local band on New Morality. Really awesome. Definitely gonna like a palate cleanser type band for the day that they play. So it's like super like really pretty music. It's all singy, like heavy, but like in an atmospheric way. So not like, you know, chuggy, but like loud and big.
Cool.
Really great musicians. Yeah, super excited to have them on. They played you know, like they played Promcore before, like 2018 or something like that, and then are just a, you know, a staple in the local scene here. So definitely hardcore kids, but not a hardcore band. So.
But we love that. We love having a bit of diversity and some local diversity too. That's hopefully bringing out some other people that might not even know there's a dope hardcore fest in their town. And love the no shoes, no socks heroes. They were. I'm trying to remember if they were going to play last year, but then had to drop. Or
yes, they were.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
We had them scheduled to come out, and then I think I don't know what happened. I don't know.
They were supposed to do like a Euro tour.
That's right.
And then
Europe,
I think it didn't end up working out. But I remember it was the day that we were going to do the first wave of announcements, and I sent you all the stuff early that morning, and I left. Me and my kids like went to the art museum or something, and you texted me, and you're just like, 3 bands just dropped. We have to announce in like an hour. So we left, and I went home and fixed it. But yeah, they had to bail last year, but yeah, they're playing this year. I think they're touring out with Sour, who we'll get to later. And I just noticed that there's no dash in between Soledad and Sour on the Fire, so I'll have to fix that.
Great.
We're working off the latest draft, but it won't be the one that probably goes out. You know, we won't like I can't even put it on the screen for a second without someone screenshotting it and leaking it, because that's what happened last time when we did this episode. We put it up for like 3 seconds, and then people are screenshotting that and posting on Twitter. So not this time.
I guess it really doesn't matter. Or this is going to release a day before we actually like. Yeah,
but
so
it's the process of someone actually like sitting down and doing that versus like click.
Screenshotting. They got to listen to the episode. Yeah.
Don't you dare scrub all the way to end to hear the headliners. Stay with us. Okay. Yeah. Excited to see End Love again. They were definitely one of those like crustier like punk bands that I saw in 2021 that was like, whoa, like what is this? So I'm stoked that they're a part of this. And Enervate, Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Getting a ton of love right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like I wasn't able to go to LDB, but like watching the sets, like looked like they had a fucking killer set.
Right.
Heard a lot of people talking about it, a lot of people posting it. Had the pleasure of meeting Tom from the band when I was up there for Snow and Flurry. And he and I kind of talked about having them come down for it, and we reached out, and they were all about it. So definitely excited to bring them down here. I know a lot of people here are going to be really stoked to get the chance to see them for the first time.
Yeah, I feel like they are a next up kind of band.
Yeah. My first time seeing them was at Snow and Flurry, and it was just the energy was incredible. Such a good band live. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Fading Signal. Let's talk about them.
The best.
So I just want
The best.
Yeah.
That was one of my bands that I wanted to put on, and then I looked at the list of confirmed, and Aaron had already asked them. I was so happy. I was like, all right, I made the right decision. Like,
we're on
getting
the same
involved with this.
wavelength there. Yeah.
Yeah. Fading Signal is really, really good. It's just like fast. I think North Carolina definitely takes like mid 2000, like early to mid 2000s, like fast melodic-y type, like American Nightmare, Count Me Out, Carry On type stuff. So it's like
Cool.
100% my bag. I'm very excited to see them finally.
Yeah. If you like fast hardcore, like they're the band for that for sure.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This next band is an Oklahoma band, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I remember, I think I was talking with members of Agony last year, and they were like, yo, here's an Oklahoma demo that you need to check out. And it was Free For All.
Yeah.
And I went home and I listened to it. I was like, yo, this is like really, really good. And so, it makes sense, if you're within the vicinity, I'm sure you're in the considerations to be asked. But like, how many shows, if you know off the top of your hand, have they played? How new of a band are they?
I mean, they're pretty new, but they've been pretty active around here. So I mean, they're not definitely. It's not like they're playing only like 3 or 4 shows before they get on this. Like they've definitely established themselves as one of the local bands that is getting put on everything and is drawing kids out, and kids are really connecting to. We did like a Oklahoma hardcore showcase here at that venue that we were talking about at the top of the show, where it was just like 12 all Oklahoma hardcore bands played like an all day like fest type thing. We did like a merch swap, and I think they had probably the reaction of the day. Just like people getting really into it, a lot of sing-alongs, a lot of stage dives. It's super groovy, really danceable, really competently like played hardcore. I think they've got two promos out, so not a ton of music out, maybe 4 or 5 songs, but and I could be wrong on that. There might be more.
No,
but
I think it's just 2 releases.
Yeah. But yeah, really good, really good. Yeah, stoked to give them the opportunity to
about the showcase.
Yeah.
Did you have snacks at that showcase?
Yeah, we did.
Did you? Just check.
Yeah, we did.
Just making sure. There was no re-entry. I just didn't want people dropping out from starvation. So I'm just making sure.
It's a long story. Like we were like doing this thing. So at the venue, like it's on kind of like a weird street, and we have this huge back patio area, like massive, like it probably fit 500 people outside in the back. And so we just do no re-entry. You can go outside and smoke, or like whatever, there's plenty of room out there, but you just can't like hang out in the front. That's all it was. And I said that on like a post, and then people just started like bombarding me with being like, well, are you gonna have snacks and water at this thing? And I was like it's a hardcore show. Like, why are you so pressed about there being snacks? And then we did.
Dude,
but we did.
My favorite thing was that people kept saying snacks, like specifically snacks. And you texted me and you were just like, what am I supposed to do? And I was like, I don't know, man. You're not running a fucking daycare. Like, sneak some beef jerky in. Like, you're not patting people down, taking their fucking food.
Well, that was the other thing. I was like, I had to post. It's a lot of young kids here, so I had to post on the page. I was like, look, you can bring shit into the venue. Like, I don't care. Like, if you think you're gonna be hungry, like, bring some fucking chips.
This is not a hey, no outside food allowed kind of show.
All I was saying is, don't go out in the front and get the venue shut down. And people were like losing their mind. But yeah.
Anyway. BYO snacks.
Yeah. BYO snacks. Yeah.
Flyover is a BYO as a event.
Yeah.
I think bands should just, instead of like, like bands should just be throwing out granola bars or something when they're playing.
Yeah.
Just like carb up.
It's so stupid.
It was just
Okay.
it was like a 2-day thing, but man, oh my god, it was just like a nice break in between. 'Cause we were dealing with like headliner stuff then, like waiting for responses, and we were both like stressed out. And he was just like, "Do I have to go buy fucking snacks now? Like, what do I do?" Just like, I don't know, man. That's a weird problem to have, like as a promoter and a venue owner. Just like, yeah, I got some people that are upset because we don't have fucking Fritos.
Very quick pull over to the shoulder on this journey. If you can only have one snack for any hardcore show for the rest of your life, what is said snack?
Deodorant for every person in the room.
Yeah, for sure.
Deodorant is not a
Yeah, for
snack.
It should be. We're considering it essential. We're passing out small deodorants, travel size, at the door with a weekend pass.
I gotta go Cool Ranch Doritos. That's like my go-to like snack chip. So
It's not a bad choice.
Yeah.
That's up there. James,
I
I
don't
need
think
a
I
real
have
answer,
one.
not deodorant.
I can't think of one. Those Quaker like chewy granola bars, like the ones you give like children with like the chocolate chips and shit in them.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good.
a candy bar. Yeah.
That's not a kid. Okay, I'm sorry. Not all of us eat fucking Cool Ranch Doritos like a 13-year-old that just got out of school. You're gonna have old
All right.
dusty ass fucking confetti fingers. I'm gonna be carved up with granola.
Well, if it's, there's no commitment as far as you, like, if this just, it spawns, you don't have to go out and buy this per se. This might be a hot take, but I'm gonna say a box of Pop-Tarts.
What flavor
Yeah, that's a good one.
Pop-Tarts?
Strawberry.
All right, I can back that.
Okay.
You know what? Okay, that's not a hot take. That's a great take. That's better than Doritos.
We'll just combine all our snacks. Well, that's the thing. It's like if everyone brings their own unique thing, you just trade these. You want my 2-pack?
Oh,
Give me
point.
some of the Doritos. Miss me on
We'll
the
have a snack
granola
swap.
bars.
We'll have a snack swap before the show.
People are moshing with their snacks and like passing them to one another. All right. Let's get back on the rails here.
We are off the rails. Yeah.
We're very off the rails. Another returning band from at least the 2021 lineup is Gagging Order. Played second on the day, and they opened up the side stage, and I was like, this band is crazy. So I'm happy to see them. Was there any specific like, let's get them back for this year?
Yeah, I mean, I just like to have some Texas representation. So there's a couple other people that have done some stuff with the fest. So Ty, who is in Free for All and also runs a page here in Oklahoma called Oklahoma Shows. I asked him to pick some bands that he wanted, and he reached out to some like regionals, and that was one of the bands that he picked. And obviously, I was happy to have them because I think they're a really, really cool band. I think they do what it is that they do in a really interesting way, and it's super raw and powerful. And then just by proxy of them playing, we get Chance acting like a maniac for 3 days. So like, it's always good. Yeah.
Our Lord, let me just say, I can say this in front of your audience now. Time and Pressure, we are the ones who coined him Fubu Man in 2019. I just want to say that. I want to
explain.
Listen,
that's a claim,
yeah.
and you need to explain yourself.
Well, I think other people also said it, but the first time I ever heard it was after the show, and Time and Pressure being like, you have to make sure Fubu Man is at the fest again. And that was when like the first picture, I think, like really blew up with him like stage diving with that jersey on.
Mm-hmm.
Because we saw him, and I was like, yo, what fucking year are we in right now? Fubu Man out here whipping ass. And then that was it. I'm just, I don't want to don't fucking at me about it. But
somebody's gonna say something.
That's fine. I'll be at the table. I'll be at the table most of the weekend. You can come argue with me about it. But we coined it. I'm not saying we own it. I'm just saying You're
Are
welcome.
you gonna have
That's
one
all.
of those like cardboard signs like I coined the Fubu Man, change my mind
Change
kind
my
of
mind.
thing?
Yeah, dude, I've seen FUBU jerseys, like the same jersey, different colors, like out at thrift stores and stuff, and I've been tempted to buy them. So I next time I see him, just be like, hey man, here you go. Thanks for everything that you do.
You need an extra one? Um,
Man,
yeah,
he was whooping everybody's ass there and peeling flesh
dude.
at the fest last year.
They
So,
started. I was like, I gotta go watch them because those are my boys. And he cartwheeled into the only open door on the side, and I was like,
yeah,
it almost came off its hinges. I was like, what is
yeah,
happening? And
Dude, the last year it was at Vanguard. Remember how like the stage had there's like the rail for the drinks? He would jump
yeah.
and then
Oh yeah, he
walk.
was running on that.
And then there was another point where, so like, the stage ends, there's the gap, and then there's the wall. He would run, jump, and then cartoon splat into the fucking wall like Wile E. Coyote, and then just
Yeah,
like peel
like
back.
hang on the wall. Yeah,
And we were just like, you gotta be fucking kidding. Because we saw him in 2019. It was just like, yo, that's good for him. Having health insurance must be sick.
mm,
And then that year, he just like upped it. He's just like, well, I've got a whole thing to protect now.
mm-hmm.
Anyway,
don't want to focus everything on his moshing because he's an incredible drummer and the band is great. So I'm very excited to have them on.
I kind of hope that he plays his set without the ski mask this time. People need to know that Fubu Man is in that band.
Yeah, for sure.
that's fair.
Yeah, shout out to Chance. Still want you on the podcast, bro. So respond to my DMs.
You got to get him on. I would love to listen to him talk for
next
a
up,
couple hours with you.
what's it like beating so much ass? Nah is the next band that we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, so I saw them at Snow and Flurry as well, and I was like immediately hooked on the band because of their energy and just how fucking stoked they were to be playing the show. They just had an incredible energy, and you could tell they were like a young band, but they were like, it was like going in that direction where you were like this is gonna be something. And then another person who is kind of helped out with some of the bands on the fest is my friend Jill, who lives in Oklahoma City, and she's like tight with them, and she was like, you got to put them on, and I was like, absolutely, if you say I got to put them on, then let's do it. So excited to have a band like that on that's super young, and get to bring them out this way and see what they do in front of a room full of people.
Yeah. Another band that was also on Snow and Flurry 2022 and has also played the fest is Gum. They have a new record that is coming out.
That's out, I think.
That's out.
Yeah, it was out last week.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, is out. Was you guys asking them prior to them being like, hey, we got new music? Was it like, oh, we know they have new music? Talk to me about that.
I think there's a little bit of both. It's kind of the same with like a few of the other bands. Like Time and Pressure played with them a bunch, kind of early on. And I really like Gum. I knew that new record was going to come out sometime this year because they've been kind of teasing it. I've seen them a few times I saw them in Springfield over the summer, and then I saw them in Cleveland twice since I've lived here, and they've just gotten really, really good live. Like it's just super tight. And I think with all the touring that they've been doing, especially the bigger tours that they've been doing, it just kind of made sense to have them come back, be one of the few repeats that we had.
Yeah, I love that. Next up is Hold My Own, the band that I think did the impossible last year, which was play directly after the 3-band Scary Block, which was Body Box, Peeling Flesh, and Snuffed on Sight. Turn the lights on and almost have this like second wind of like hardcore energy. Played an incredible set. Talk to me about why they're coming back as another repeat.
I just love that band. It's just like hardcore.
That's
you know what I mean?
That's
like
it.
there's no frills to it at all. It's just they're just like a pure hardcore band, and they do it fucking well. And they had a great reaction too, especially like you said, considering where they sat in the lineup. You know what I mean? Like, not that they couldn't follow anybody, but like it was just a weird
The odds
energy,
were not in their favor. Yeah.
super dark and like scary, and then like to go into that, but they did a great job. They played one of the after shows as well, and yeah, just excited to have them back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Aaron, would you say that they held their own on that lineup?
yeah, I would say that they did. Thank you.
Just checking. Just
Jordan,
making sure.
can you add a rim shot into that? That was good.
Thank you. I appreciate
Initiate.
it.
Band has a new record. Band's
Yeah,
touring on that new record. New record is awesome. We
so
got to
good.
have Danny, who plays drums in that band, call in for our Listen Up recap of April, I guess it was. I'm losing track of the months here. And talk about it. And I'm stoked to finally see them. They've kind of been, they're a band that we didn't see a lot of in kind of the first couple of years of pandemic hardcore decade. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the new record is incredible. It's definitely on my rotation a lot. I like their take on what they're doing, and I tried to get them last year as well, and they just couldn't. They couldn't work it out, and so reached out to them again, and they were, stoked for the invite and stoked to come out and play. Really excited to bring them out here. It's just like another one of those bands. It's like bringing them for the first time. And it's like so cool to be able to like have that come through here. So
totally. Who's next on the list? Inside You. Not Strangle You.
Not Strangle You. No, not Strangle You. Inside You is another local here from Oklahoma City. I don't know if you remember Shame.
Mm. Oh,
I don't think. No.
Yeah.
So the singer Jera was the same vocalist for Shame, but just like super dark, super heavy, hardcore. It like I remember the first time I saw them was like a couple months ago. And I heard the record like they put out the EP, and I was like super impressed with it and like stoked to see them. Especially because Jera is like an old friend of mine, like I've known him forever. And but when I saw them play, I was like I was like uncomfortable. Like the music made me feel like a visceral feeling. Like I was like I felt just uncomfortable watching them play because it's so dark and so heavy. But like really, really good band, and they haven't played a ton of shows yet. But by the time that comes through here, like they'll have buttoned everything up and be ready to put on a great set.
I love a band that can make my skin crawl while watching them play.
Yeah, that's what it does. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Jive Bomb, Baltimore.
Yeah.
A band that I just being on literally the opposite side of the continent and being in Calgary, I was like, I think I just hedged. I was like, it's probably unlikely that I'll get to see this band unless it's at a fest. So getting to see them here on this is very awesome. Kat's been on the podcast. And yeah. Thoughts for them joining?
Yeah, just
joining
excited to see them. First time coming through. Obviously, doing good stuff. Being on Flat Spot. Really kind of like fast and like aggressive hardcore music. I love it a lot. So,
Life
they
Force.
They were one of the first. They were one of the first bands that I reached out to.
Jive Bomb was.
Yeah.
Sick. I spoke too soon, but Life Force. What do we got to say about Life Force? Sick, straight edge Texas, homie band.
Homies from Texas and Oklahoma. Flint's the homie. Excited to have him back. I think what their band is about really fits well with what the fest is about, and he's always got something really poignant to say. That like really resonates with the people there. Just fast, straight edge hardcore. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hope that someone moshes with a lightsaber for their set, because that was a talking point when he was last on the podcast. So whether that's me or someone else, we'll have to see. A band that I'll need either of you to add on is Livid, because I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I'll let James
It's
take that
a
one.
two-piece power violence band from maybe Kenosha, I think. They have a record on To Live a Lie. I think they might
Okay.
have two records on To Live a Lie, actually. It just kind of fits with this bundle of like power violency, like fastcore bands that we have kind of playing early on Sunday. They tour constantly. I mean, it's two
Yeah,
dudes, and I think they tour out of like a pickup truck or something, like some shit like that, and they're just like
yeah,
constantly on the road all the time.
yeah. They've played Oklahoma City and Tulsa probably 3 or 4 times in the last year. So really cool band.
Cool. Don't see very many two pieces getting fest opportunities, so that's very, very interesting. Morbid Visions, I should say, with a Z or Z, depending
Yeah,
where you're from.
yeah, yeah. Arkansas death metal. I want to say they're on Maggot Stomp now.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think so. Yeah.
okay. I was like, maybe we check that before I blow the cover. But yeah, I mean, Central Arkansas is having like a moment. You know what I mean? Like shout out to Terminal Nation and Banging in the Rock Fest. You know what I mean? Like they're doing really cool stuff and like a fairly similar, market as where we are in Oklahoma. So it's cool to like see all the stuff that's happening in their, scene and all the success that they're having. And so definitely wanted to have some representation from that state, and I think they were the obvious choice this year. And so reached out to them. Really excited to see it. I think it's a good vibe for where they fit on the lineup.
Next up, Mouth for War, some Colorado boys. I'm excited because I've been eagerly waiting to see this band because I felt like they put out some really killer music when everyone was locked down with
Yeah.
their last release. But now for them actually being able to play that stuff is really, really cool. Have they been on the consideration list for a while, or was it kind
Yeah.
of more recent?
Yeah, no, they were one of the ones that I wanted for sure. We always try to have some Colorado bands on, just because of the proximity to Oklahoma. You know what I mean? I want to try to keep things regional for the support, part of the fest. And I mean, they're a big band. Like they played LDB and had like an incredible reaction. Just super heavy, and there's once you see the day-to-day breakdowns, you'll be like, oh, because like last year it was like that 3-band rock block in the middle with Peeling Flesh in them, but Saturday is basically just like beat your ass day. You know what I mean? So yeah, Saturday's not for the weak for sure. Yeah, so excited just to have them on. They've played through here before, so cool to bring them back.
Cool. No Cure. No Cure might be one of the best newer heavy straight edge bands I've heard in a long time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Birmingham, is that where they're from?
Yeah.
Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah,
Alabama.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of really cool opportunities, so it's awesome to get them on the fest because I think they're playing Furnace Fest, which is fucking massive. You know what I mean? So they were one of the earlier bands that I reached out to. Just had a good dialogue with them and wanted to get them out this way. I don't believe that they played in Oklahoma before, but I could be wrong. I might have missed it, but yeah, just like the heaviest kind of hardcore. Yeah.
We're on to the next line. Peace Test is next.
Peace Test was the first, like the band that I wanted to get on. Like I think they were like one of the the first band I asked. They're from Rhode Island. They put out a record last year on To Live a Lie called Pry. That was my favorite record last year. It's like just really good, fast, like mean as shit hardcore, with a little bit of like power violence-y kind of stuff with it. They're touring out, I think, with Wound Man, who's also playing.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're in that same block as like Livid. Sorry, my cat is fucking my foot up right now. But yeah, I was so excited when it like finally worked out because that was one of those things where I was just like, this is kind of like a personal band I just really want to play, but I don't think it's gonna work out because Rhode Island seems like everything seems a million miles away from Tulsa, but Rhode Island seems even further.
Literally a million.
So when they yeah, like they agreed super quickly and they were really excited about it. It's just like, this is my big get. I was really happy about.
That's very cool.
I think people are gonna like it a lot. It's really, really good.
Cool. There's no peace when Peace Test plays, right?
Yeah, it's all ass whipping.
Yes.
But like fast ass whipping and like 50-second ass whipping, not 3-minute ass whipping.
Another returning band is Prevention, another band that might have had one top 5 sets of the weekend.
Arguably the set of the weekend.
I remember you and I were talking about it. You were just like, "Yo, I think we just watched like the best set of the weekend at 2:00 on a Saturday."
Yeah, it's funny because Sonny was filming, and I like told him as I was walking side stage, like watch them across from where he was filming, and I was like, I think this is going to be like a good one because they have like a real good connection with the young kids. And he was like, oh, cool, because I don't think he'd ever seen them before. Like after they played, and I came walking back across, and he was like, that was it. That was the one. You know what I mean? So like for him to acknowledge that was really cool. Yeah, I mean, not much else needs to be said. Everybody knows Prevention and knows what they're about. They're killing it up in their home scene. And what's cool about them, aside from the fact that they're a good band, is that they're like bringing everybody up with them. So like if you play dumb records, like it doesn't matter who you are. Like there's going to be 100 kids there and they're going to be going crazy, and all the locals are going to show out, and they're really like, making an impact on like where they're from. And so that's like a huge, part of wanting to have them back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think a lot of bands can say that you bring up the locals from where you're from, but very few people actually put that into practice. So that's very cool.
For sure.
Primitive Rage is next on our list.
Primitive Rage from the other Springfield. So if you're familiar with the online beef there's Springfield and Evil Springfield. Really cool, like really dark metalcore, awesome band. Yeah. And then Adrian's in the band, so she'll be there running sound all weekend too. So stoked to just have them come out and play. They put out a really good EP recently. Yeah.
Like this month?
No, I don't know if it was this month. No, within the last couple of months.
Okay, cool. I'll check it out. Public Opinion. What's the public opinion about Public Opinion?
No one told me that band sounded like a catchier version of the Hives until I listened to it, and it was just like a no-brainer. I was like, this is fucking good. I just assumed since it was on since it was on Compulse that it was just like a more like dirty punk leaning type of thing. And I listened to it, I was like, this sounds like the fucking Hives, but like better. So I think they tour quite a bit too, and they have a pretty big connection with the Springfield area as well. So I think it'll just be like a good palate cleanser between like the amount of ass whipping that's about to happen.
Super catchy.
Yeah, it's just really good, catchy, like hoppy, like punk, but not not like pervy pop punk, but just like really good. Like I wouldn't say Descendants, but just like very melodic.
Yeah.
Falling under the category of things I didn't think would work as a band name is Rabbit.
Have you heard them?
No, I do not know anything about Wabbits.
You should check them out. They are like just one of the craziest sounding bands. I don't know. I don't even know like how to like describe sonically what it is. Like it's definitely hardcore and it's definitely punk leaning, but it's just super dark and like
it's like grimy. I don't even really know how it like not like darkened hardcore, not like Death Wish type stuff, but if like maybe like if a Death Wish band was like on Convulse, maybe it's like that kind of leaning, like darker. They're a DGR band. I was really like when we first started booking, that was one of your bands that you had already reached out to before I even like threw my list out. I was really excited about that recent I think it was an EP that they put out was really, really good.
Yeah, it's so good. You should immediately check it out upon wrapping the episode. I think you'll really like it.
Okay, before I go to bed, listen to Rabbit. That's what's happening.
Get them on to talk too, because like I want to hear what they have to say. Because I've never met them. It's just been correspondence, like about the fest. So I'm like really interested to see like what they're about and see them live.
They're a Brooklyn band, right?
Yeah, they're from New York. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So Raw Breed is next. a band that I haven't really thought about since the split they did in 2021. But yeah, what was the why behind having them? Because they're from, oh God,
I think they're kind of spread out.
Spread out.
I think they're like based in Denver, but I think some of them live. I want to say Kat's husband is in that band from Bum. So like
I think so. Yeah.
they're up in Seattle, and I want to say like their singer might live in Philly. Type of Pressure played with them in Boston in like 2019. So I was just like instantly a fan after we played with them, and then I think they just put out a new LP within the last few months, and I mean, a lot of people seemed really into it. Just, well, this band's like doing stuff again. I want to at least reach out and see if they're even interested. And yeah, they got back really quick, and we're super down to do it. So I think it's gonna be really cool. I'm excited because they don't really play out that much. I think because they're so spread out.
Roman Candle, really recently just had singer of that band on the podcast, and Piper. Yeah, it's been a long day, but
yeah,
they're a band because I'm gonna get to see them here in Toronto in a few months, and we were talking at least about that band unintentionally maybe building a bit of a bridge between the hardcore and the screamo community, because there's a lot of not like siloed things, but there's not as many bands who can kind of play in both lanes. But Piper was very much like, as much as I like that we can play screamo shows, I would consider us a hardcore band, and I want to stay that way.
Yeah.
Was that a thought in the process of booking them, as far as maybe bringing some other people to the fest, or was there anything else in the mix there?
So I'll be honest, like initially what it was is I think I saw a video of them on Twitter playing in a swimming pool.
Yeah.
And the crowd reaction was just insane. And like, I don't know, like when I think about a fest or about hardcore in general, like crowd reaction is like such a crucial part of it. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, like these people are like really connecting with this audience. You know what I mean? And like seeing the way that people reacted, and like I don't know, it was immediately like, this is somebody that I would want to have on. I don't even think I actually went and listened to their music until after I had reached out to them. And then the music's fucking incredible too. Like it's so smart. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it either. But yeah, I mean, like there's definitely like some crossover with some screamo stuff there, which is not really my bag. So like, I don't want to speak on it too much. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I just like when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, this is like super interesting, but not like to the point where I'm like, oh, I can't follow along with it. You know what I mean? It's catchy and it's like fun. So
yeah. Anything you want to add on Roman Candle there, James? Or are you fighting your cat still?
My fucking cat keeps getting stuck behind the couch because he's an asshole. Dude, get it together. I like Piper's art a lot. I've followed her.
Oh yeah.
On Instagram for a while now. And so yeah, when I saw that Aaron added them to the list, it made me check them out. And I don't really like that kind of stuff, but that band is that's probably one of the like top 3 sets I'm looking forward to that weekend.
Yeah.
I like that demo a lot. And their drummer, I follow their drummer on TikTok. And oh my God, he's such a good drummer. It's like gross how good at drums that person is. So yeah, it's like one of the bands I'm really, really excited to see. I think it'll be a cool like mix thrown in kind of thing, because the fest kind of skews a little all over the place this year, but it definitely does lean a little bit more punk in some days. But I think that'll be a cool addition. I think they're playing Saturday or Friday or something like that.
I don't know.
They're playing one of the days.
So many bands. Can't keep track of which bands on which days.
We've swapped day-to-day stuff like 75,000 times at this point, and one of us will send it and be like, "Oh shit, you forgot this band." I'm like, nah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's not till November too, so it'll all change like 500 more times. So
yes.
Can't wait.
Next up is Sector, putting my man Onchit on double duty for Hold My Own and Sector. Was that just an easy add-on with having him?
Yeah. Well, we actually, I think we had them booked before Hold My Own, and we were trying to get them down last year on a maybe to play one of the after shows or to play the fest. I don't remember, but I think their singer lives in Vegas, maybe. I don't
Vegas.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it it couldn't work out because of life. You know what I mean? But if I understand, I think they have a record or an EP or something coming out on Days pretty soon. And yeah, I'm just excited to bring them out. Cool to have some Chicago representation on the fest.
Totally. Yeah. I'm seeing Anche play with Hold My Own was incredible. It's such a phenomenal guitar player, but I've been eagerly awaiting to see Sector. So seeing those together
he
is
might
really
be
exciting.
he might be the sweetest man in the world too.
Yeah. Came on the podcast last year, almost lost his wedding ring.
Yeah.
And then found it.
Then we found it. Yeah. Yeah.
So shout out to, I think it was like the cleaning lady of the venue, but
yeah.
All right. Next up on our mega list of bands is Sign Language. I need y'all to add in because first time seeing the band name in general.
New signing for Sunday Drive, Cincinnati band. We used to play with Sarah Tolley is the singer and main guitar player. She used to play like every show that Time of Pressure played in the Cincinnati area. And then she has this new full band. It's really good, like indie-ish, pop punky, like run for cover, Sunday Drive sounding band. I think they're like kind of in the middle of the day somewhere. We kind of tried to throw some of the softer bands just like in the middle of like each day, or like somewhere kind of scattered in, just not like whooping ass all day. Maybe there's like some whooping ass, and then you can like reflect on your life a little bit, and then you can go back to whooping ass. Yeah. So that's one of those bands. It's really good. That their new I think it's an LP came out probably like a couple weeks ago, I think.
Okay, cool.
I listen to it all the time. It might be like it's one of my favorite records that's come out in a long time.
Well, I've been
really good. Everyone in that band is very nice. They're all in another band called Way Down from Cincinnati. It's also really good. It's like straightforward hardcore. I think Sarah actually plays with Ankle Biter sometimes. I know she toured with them recently.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I like that connection. Another Oklahoma band getting some love. Sledge. Shout out to Colton.
They just put out an EP recently, and it's just so good. Just like groovy metalcore, like with some like new metal references, but like not in like the cheesy way, like in the most awesome parts of, like that genre. And like it's just so aggressive and so honest sounding. So stoked to have them play. And I love that like we have like the bands in Oklahoma now to like be able to basically take the ones that we had last year and then move this new group in, and then we can like start to recycle that and like have everybody get a chance to play a part of this fest. So.
Yeah. I remember Sledge was one of the later bands for the year that I was filming, and just I really love that EP that they put out in, I think it was 2021.
Yeah.
Great dudes. Band's awesome. I think they need more love if you're into that, just unrelenting metalcore. The new EP just came out.
Yep.
So we're off an older version here. This is two bands, right?
Yeah, two bands.
Okay.
There's just no dash there. Yeah.
It's too bad. It sucks because
come on, James. I'm just kidding.
It's it's like the most recent version. So this means I have to go back and change it tomorrow morning. Let me add that to my list of shit to do tomorrow.
Soul Dad. Let's talk about them.
Yeah. Texas band. Pretty new, really on the come up. I want to say the drummer for Ballista plays for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've never seen them. I don't. The time that they did come through here, I wasn't able to make it to the show. But yeah, just it seems like they're playing everything in Texas, and they're hitting a lot of shows in Oklahoma City. and that was one that Ty had reached out to get on, and so excited to bring them up.
Cool. Next is Sour. There's a lot of very short band names in this next little block here. What's up with Sour?
Sour's from Columbus. They're a DGR band. It's like a hidden gem. Like, sounds like the Beautiful Ones. You know how like everybody says they want to sound like Beautiful Ones and it sucks? This isn't that band. This is that band that like sounds as close to that kind of stuff as you can get. It's really groovy. The singer's like incredibly energetic, has a lot of really like good things to say between songs. Especially from like such a unique perspective and everything too. I'm really, really excited for them to start to play out because they haven't really done a ton. So I think the fest will be like, I think it's gonna be like a secret like big reaction when they play.
I like having a little bit of a something to pull, many months into the future with them having a crazy reaction and clipping these two things together. That's cool. Spine is the next band on this list.
I'll let James talk about them, but here's a funny thing about booking this fest this year. James will be like, "What about this band?" And I'll be like, "Oh, I've reached out to them before, and I haven't ever been able to make it work." And he'll be like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then he'll text me 20 minutes later and be like, "I confirmed them for the fest."
Dude. So like with headliners,
yeah.
I didn't feel comfortable using somebody else's money to pay bands.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just kind of like, I'm gonna let you do that because that I don't feel comfortable just being there just yet. It's like, all right, that's fine. And then it started rolling on. It's like I can't get people to like respond to me. Like, what the fuck? Like the process is taking too long. I was just like, all right, like we've been doing the process for a little bit now. Like I feel a little bit more comfortable and like we got a thing going here. And then it ended up being like I kind of confirmed like 5 of the 6 of the top bands on the thing. And I was just like, how the fuck did this happen? Because he told me, he's like, I've tried to get Spine on for like every year just about. So I was just like, hold on. So I texted Antonio and I was like, hey man, you'll play this thing? I'm booking like part of it now. And he's like, yeah, hold on. And then like half an hour passed by and I texted him. I was like, all right, they're good.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing. Because he's just like, why do they talk to you but not me? Just like, I'm just
it just
the more
happenstance because I'm
just the more likable one.
Yeah.
It's fun.
But yeah, Spine's fucking awesome. Like
I'm
so
very excited for that
to
new
play.
record. They've been on this like this is gonna be our last record kick for the last like couple releases, and I feel like this might actually be it. So I'm very glad to get them down for fest, especially what Kansas City's like 4 or 5 hours, maybe 6 hours from Tulsa. It's not that far.
Yes, super close. Yeah.
And I don't think they've ever played. I don't even know if they've ever played Oklahoma, unless they did like one of the Everything Is Not Okay Fest or something.
No, I'm sure they've played here before. They probably played fucking Rudy's house or something like that. So
yeah, I'm excited for that. That new record's gonna be really cool. Antonio has a lot of really nice, like really interesting things to say between songs too. Again, from like a very unique perspective. So I think it'll be really cool. Plus, that band just like whoops ass. It's so good and like so mean, and then Antonio's like the nicest person you'll have ever met in your life.
Is it fair to say that they were the band that you have year over year tried for the most, Aaron? Or are there other bands that are?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they for sure. I tried to get them in. I tried to get them the year that Brace Ward played. Then tried to get them in 2019, and then probably contacted them the year they got canceled because of COVID. And I'm pretty sure I asked them to play 2021. I think I asked them to play last year too. So like it just never worked out.
It's just this gift I have,
Yeah.
Sometimes all you need is a little bit of James. But that's very cool. It's that set will probably be, almost half a decade in the making, it seems. But that's cool.
Yeah, I'm just so excited to finally see them. So.
Mm-hmm. And then just ream them out for why weren't you responding to when it was just me?
Yeah, so he's gonna
no. Antonio always responded to me. We just could never make it like happen, like making it work. You know what I mean? Like they were very easy to work with. It just wouldn't line up. So
that's not what Aaron was telling me. He said he's gonna quarter him and throw batteries at him all weekend.
Jesus Christ.
Squint, another returning act from last year. They played second on day one.
First on day
Oh,
2,
Yeah,
maybe.
Saturday morning. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
Saturday. Best band from St. Louis. David Shanley is a national treasure. I would die for David Shanley. I would kill Mike from Cold Shoulder if David Shanley asked me to. Just they're such a good band, and I've been in bands with Dave for like a while, so I know he's just like constantly at it. They're always writing, always recording. They're touring more than any other band from the St. Louis area, and me and Aaron just kind of talked about it, and it's one of those things where it's like, they played last year. We're trying not to do as many repeats, but they've grown so much since then, and they kind of like they played an early slot, and like there was a good amount of people in the room, and like they definitely like owned the room for that time period, but it's just like they've definitely earned like a better spot on the lineup, a better time slot, especially with as much as I think they're planning on doing between now and November.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just kind of made sense. Plus, like if I didn't, like cape for a St. Louis band, I think somebody would fucking shoot me in the face over that weekend. Because I always used to complain, it's like, well, there's no St. Louis bands on that fest. I was just kind of like, this would be a funny bit if I just didn't put any on there.
The Runts is next.
Yeah. So, are you familiar?
Not at all.
Okay, so actually, like a really giant fucking band from California.
Okay.
In the punk world, and super cool the way that this came about actually, because they're playing Sound and Fury this year, like probably one of the more like punk leaning bands on the fest. And if you go to their Instagram and you go to their social medias, you can like look at like the kind of shows they do. It's super like a lot of DIY backyard stuff, but with like 1,000 fucking people. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, and what's cool about the band is that they donate all the money they make to different organizations. And so they just reached out to me and they were like, hey, like we're planning on touring with Rabbit around the time of the fest. So we were wondering if like we could jump on. And then like being familiar with who they are, I was like, like budget wise where we were, I was like, I'm not sure if I can afford it. And they were like, we're so into what it is that you're doing with donating it to Oklahomans for Equality. We just like want to be involved. So if we can make it work, then let's do it. And so James and I talked it out, and just excited to have them on. I mean, honestly, like a really good sized band, like good sized following, and it's just straight up like hardcore punk. So good.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think the only band that's like ever like cold messaged us that we were actually just like, okay, yeah, maybe this is a good idea.
Yeah.
It's just like it wasn't one of those, because that does not mean message us be like, we'll donate the money. No, please don't do that.
Yeah.
We're good, bro.
Yeah.
Like we're fine. But it was just like, because we made like a conscious effort. It's like, dude, we've got to stop adding bands. It's like we don't want to do like pre-shows and after shows. We got to just like keep it. And then they came to us and just like, how the fuck you say no to that? Like this band is good.
There are certain things you're
annoying. Like, all right, that's fine. They'll play for 15 minutes. That's great. And like Aaron said, the band's just really, really good.
Yeah. So sometimes you just know, you're like, you are the exception.
Yeah, it was definitely the approach that like that kind of sealed it for both of us.
Mm-hmm. And that just makes you feel good where you're actually being recognized for the real reason why you guys are doing it. It's not just to do a dope local fest, for someone to recognize that and be a part of it.
Yeah, it's cool. Like that they like. I think that the reason that they want to be a part of it the most is because of what it is and what it's doing. You know what I mean? Like it's a actual contribution to like the betterment of the world. You know what I mean? So it was really awesome of them. Stoked to see them play.
Cool. We talked about Bazooka Tooth, and now we're just going to talk about The Tooth, another Oklahoma band. As someone that got to see this band and film this band, this was one of the bands that, in my opinion, kind of stole the show because it was at the pre-show. Or they were one of the bands that stole the show. I'm remembering all the
Yeah.
bands that played the pre-show, and I'm remembering like, oh yeah, that band had a dope set. That band also had a dope set. But the Tooth was one sonically that I was like so captivated by. So I'm excited to see them play again.
Yeah, I mean, like OGs of Oklahoma, and still going strong, putting out great music. Just put out some new music recently. It's just like the scariest sounding band ever. So, like, really stoked to see them. Stoked to have them on the fest.
Time Heist. I'm not. The
Yeah.
X is silent.
Yeah.
The straight edge is silent. What's up with them?
It's members of Implied Risk who were going to play the 2020 year that got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Denver dudes, just good straight edge youth crew. I've known them for a long time. I was actually supposed to fill in for Implied Risk at that fest that year before it got canceled. So I've just been in touch with them ever since. They just had a new record come out, and I think there's a split coming out pretty soon too. And they're just constantly busy. They're planning on touring quite a bit too. So I think it would just be it was a good addition from friends.
Cool. Last line for the support bands. This is a long journey through these 50 bands, but we're almost through, and then we're gonna move on to headliners. Earn, another band that you got to see at Snow and Flurry. There, Aaron.
Yeah, I've seen them. I'd seen them before too. I'm not sure where, but I know I had seen them before. Yeah, just really cool. Really cool band from Texas. It was another band that Ty booked. So excited to have that Texas representation come out for the fest again.
Cool. Another band that's making some waves, signed to War Records super recently, is World I Hate. Dope band. Put out like one of my favorite releases from 2020. Just like came out of nowhere. And now to see them like on a dope label run by Andrew from Strife, and just doing some things is really, really cool. More Milwaukee bands as well, which we love.
Yeah.
That's it. World I Hate.
I mean, it speaks for itself. Like, they're just such a good band. So I'm not sure if they played here before. So excited to have them down.
They haven't. Hal, their singer, was in Black Hole from Springfield. I don't remember that band.
Yeah.
Dude, Black Hole, what a fucking good band. But World I Hate, he sings in that, and then Jimmy from Judiciary plays guitar, and I think Tom from Innervate is also in World I Hate. Or he might have just been filling in for them when I saw them a few months back. But yeah, that new record's going to be really cool, and I'm excited. I hope they do some more touring and stuff around it.
Wreckage. Probably, I think it's fair to say this might be one of the most underdog talked about bands, especially when they played FYA earlier this year. They put out a dope release like in January, right? Yeah, I think that's when that dropped. Were they an early booking when that came out?
Yeah, one of the earlier ones. Kept seeing the name. Jill, who worked on some of the other stuff, she definitely was like pushing for it. Sam Allen from Anxious, who's from here, he's constantly big upping them, and so I'm like, I don't know, they feel like one of those bands that's gonna like just like blow up. So really excited to have them come out. It's just really good hardcore. Like, it's really, really well done. And they're young kids, which is awesome. Like to see young people doing really great music. So
totally
should be the first time they've ever come out this way, unless they toured before. Excited to have them. I believe they on Scheme Records, I think, is what they're on. So hopefully
that's what that LP came out on.
Even so can't wait to see what that's like live.
All right. And the very last support band, some metalcore behemoths, Your Spirit Dies. Stoked to see them on this.
Yeah. Again, like, it's funny because like A Morning Star, Your Spirit Dies, I think they're on tour right now, actually, with like My Children, My Bride or something like that. I remember seeing the flyer.
Oh, yeah,
for it.
yeah.
Could be
I
wrong.
was like, not together.
But
I was like, I don't think that they're touring together, but yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
they're not. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. But anyway, yeah, like just one of those bands that does metalcore like the way that I like it, and so like I just wanted to, wanted to get them out. First time coming through. Have a good relationship with their agent, so it was pretty easy to like get, and happened really quick, and they were stoked to play. So stoked to have them out.
Cool. All right. We're moving from the text to the logos. Bib, 3 letters.
Yeah.
Exciting. I've only seen live videos of this band before. Why Bib for you guys individually? I want to hear from James first, specifically.
Bib rocks. Bib was like like I had a small list of bands. I was just like, if I don't get these bands, I'm gonna jump off a bridge. And Bib was one of them. And I told Aaron, I was like, dude, it's gonna go over well. Because when I think of Oklahoma, I think of like the OKC fest that they used to have was that everything is not okay. So like Bib just like fits that for me. And plus Bib's like low key, like they don't do a whole lot. So when they do, it's a big deal. And I don't think they've ever played Tulsa. I know they've played Oklahoma, but they don't do a ton. And it just kind of worked out really well that they were down to do it pretty quickly. And that was like one of the ones I was really, really excited about when they confirmed, just because that was one of my big ones.
What about
excited
for you,
excited to have them out. Yeah, excited to have them out because they're not not a band that I see on a ton of stuff like this. I caught them once in Oklahoma City at 89th Street, and it was really good. When I tell anybody that's involved in the hardcore scene that really leans more into the punk side of things, when I have let them know that Bib is coming, their eyes light up, like they're very excited about seeing them. So just super stoked. So they're playing Friday. So I think the way we should do it is go by which days. So
okay, yeah, we could do that.
They're one of the headliners Friday. So
okay, so who's the other Friday headliner then?
Restraining Order.
The other Friday,
okay. So is Bib top of Friday and then Restraining, or is it
Restraining Orders top and then Bib's right under?
Oh, okay. Restraining Order, great band.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out. It was a lot of back and forth, and then it was kind of just one of those things where just like, oh, I don't think we'll be able to do it, so we just kind of let it sit. And then I texted Keith again, and I was just like, come on, you guys should do it. It'll be cool. And then they actually got a tour offer that like perfectly lined up with it, and it just worked. And I remember I called Aaron, I was like, dude, it worked. They're playing. It was a weird like limbo of headliners time period by that point. So like anybody that confirmed, I was just like, oh fuck, thank God. Like it was weird, just getting like kind of stressed by that point. And then all of a sudden it just like all fell into place over like a 2-week period.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool when I think of a band like playing that stage in that room, like I could close my eyes and I imagine it being Restraining Order. You know what I mean? Like just the reaction that they get from the crowd, the kind of music that it is, the way that people go off for them. Like it should be perfect stage dives. I'm excited to see like that room get really rowdy for them.
I think they have a new record coming out in the summertime.
Perfect.
So that'll be it's gonna line up really, really well, I think. And plus I've seen that band like 5 times, I feel like, and it's great every single time.
All right, so those are our 2 headliners for Friday.
For Friday, yeah.
Saturday.
So okay,
you're kind of driving the this episode now.
Yeah. So co-headline for Saturday is going to be End It. So we had them last year, and then some things came up, and they weren't able to make it. So so I was like, well, we got to try to run it back. And this was one of those ones that I had been in contact and we just couldn't make it work. And then James sent an email and it got done in like 5 minutes. So,
dude, it got done in like a day. It was the best.
James just coming in clutch with so many of these bands.
It's just, it's hard. It's hard being me.
But I mean, definitely I've never played out here. People will be so fucking stoked to see them. And I think in that room, in that environment, it's like just an amazing way to experience that band. I've never seen them live. They put out that EP that was incredible. Can't wait to see it.
If I can have a sit down conversation with Akil during that weekend and have that recorded, obviously, I will be very mad. Band's awesome, and their vibe is just exactly what I want hardcore shows to be like.
Yeah,
stage diving, fun, menacing, buffoonery, but like people can just like vibe and enjoy a moment. And Akil does a very good job at like setting the tone when they play.
Yeah.
So is one of our co-headliners one of the
Nope.
ones to be beeped?
We can. No, the headliner Saturday we can say. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is epic, in my opinion.
So headlining Saturday is Pain of Truth.
Pain of Truth. Flyover Fest.
Yeah. Just, I mean, one of the biggest bands in hardcore. New music coming soon, I believe. And which will probably just be gigantic for them. So excited to have them play Tulsa for the first time again. So that's what's cool is that majority of the bands that we've got coming to headline this thing have never been here in this capacity. So yeah, really excited to have them out. I mean, I don't need to big up Pain of Truth. They are what they are, and it's gonna be chaos. So.
That's such a dynamic duo on one day. Pain of Truth and End It.
Yeah, that back to back will be really fun, I think. So.
Yeah, man. Okay, so as far as when the lineup is announced, which will be in a couple days after this episode goes live, currently they are not blocked out with a to be announced
with a TBA. Yeah.
Yes. And you're gonna tell.
So
I know one of
it's
these,
not
right?
Maybe I don't know. It's not a clever marketing thing on our end. It's just like with this kind of stuff, we had some radius clauses that we had to work around, and so the Sunday headliners will be announced. Yeah, no, like the Sunday headliners will be announced on August. Yeah, no, they'll be announced on August 1st. And two really big bands, and we can't even really talk about them after we say the name and you bleep them out. But it's such a bummer, yeah. But I will say this: if you see the lineup and you're considering coming, you should get tickets, because once these two get announced, I think
like
that
if there's even weekend passes by that point, what the like two the weekend passes will be up 2 months before we even announce them. If they're still up by that point, like I'd be pretty surprised.
Yeah, I think these two bands on their own could probably sell it out. So, but yeah, so co-headline on Sunday. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, can't talk about it, but yeah, yeah. And then
can read lips, man.
James. No, well, he can do the thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, last time we had like a logo over.
Yeah.
So we're all good.
Yeah,
we cover all the bases here, James. Don't you worry.
When I'm saying we can't talk about it, I can't even like say like why I'm excited to have them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Band based from here has this much new music.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, pull the curtain.
Yeah, and then the headliner for Sunday closing out the fest is.
That is fucked up.
Yeah, I know.
It worked out, and I was just like, fuck. What do we do?
When you I don't know if you texted or we were on the phone about it, and you were mentioning that it was like 99%. I was like, if you get this band, it is game over for the fest this year. And the fact that you have them, and I feel like I can't even ask like certain questions about it.
Can't say anything about it. Yeah, but
if someone Venmos me $20, I'll tell them.
Yeah, I mean it's a big deal. It's a big deal. to have it. So
Yeah.
I'm
for
excited.
sure.
And they've never played Oklahoma.
I don't. I mean, I don't. No, I don't think so.
Maybe, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Still, fuck.
I know.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. Well,
When we were told we had to wait, I was just, oh man, but why? Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, not to Charlie Brown pull the football away from y'all, but y'all are gonna want to get your tickets for Flyover Fest November 17th to 19th. Because what is that? Is that July 1st?
June 1st.
June 1st.
June 1st, yeah.
Yeah.
When that no. What is 8/1?
Oh, that's August.
Oh,
1st.
August 1st.
Yeah. So once August 1st comes, there will be no tickets left.
Yeah.
Guaranteed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I would. Yeah, I think it'll probably sell out before then.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's
but if not, it will sell out like
Yes.
right after.
Gentlemen, we have talked about so many bands for an undeniable event that y'all are planning. Very, very fortunate and very grateful to both of you for entrusting me to debut and the lineup in this way and talk about it and spend some time. Is there anything else that we need to hit on when it comes to Flyover? Anything you guys want the people to know? Any details that you would like to share before we head towards the close?
We're gonna have food trucks on site this year. We've already got them like lined out and everything, so that's like a really cool addition to the fest because we'll have vegan and non-vegan options on site outside, so you can step out, grab a bite to eat, so you don't have to leave. I'm trying to think what else. No, not really. I mean, I think I wanted to be known that the fest is, it's a benefit for Oklahomans for Equality, which is a local nonprofit organization here in Tulsa that provides a lot of different services for the LGBTQ community in Oklahoma. Have partnered with them since it was Prom Corps. But what's cool about them is that it's not just like a thing where they're like, oh, we're like helping, people, like we're donating money. Like they help push through legislature that makes sure that people are properly represented and allowed and able to live their lives the way that they want in a place like Oklahoma, which leans toward the side of not supporting their decisions to do those things. So,
Right.
we have an opportunity to like raise a pretty substantial amount of money for them, and really impact the actual community here in Oklahoma, which is like such a cool thing to be able to do, along with being able to see a bunch of great bands. So.
James, any final words from you, my friend?
No, I'm really excited for that weekend. It's been a weekend that I look forward to for years. Grateful for Aaron for bringing me on. It's been a lot of fun. Honestly, I thought it would be a pain in the ass because booking a 3-day fest sounds like a pain in the ass on paper, but it's been really good. Met a lot of really nice people through just booking it, and it's been fun. So yeah, I'm excited. I just really want people to know the lineup at this point. I've been showing it to so many people, but like, with the names blocked out, I'm just so excited. I'm just like really proud of like what we've put together, and I think the fact that it is for a charity for a benefit, that it just like makes it that much better. And it's just like a good fest. It's the vibe is fun, it's light, and I'm just really excited and really grateful to be such a big part of it this year. So I'm excited for people to see what we put together and hopefully sell a bunch of tickets and donate a bunch of money.
And am I allowed to say how Scope might be involved?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I think for the very first time, we will be down doing some in-person interviews and chatting with some folks. And that's been something I've been wanting to do. Well, not like since I started the podcast, but the podcast started all in person, and then I had to kind of adapt and evolve with, things once the Rona hit the world. But I've wanted to kind of do the stuff with, someone right in front of me versus that slight delay because of Zoom. So when Aaron reached out about that, I was like, that is something I absolutely must do. And I'm very excited. Going to check a lot of bevs. Going to make sure the Liquid Death is in plentiful for that weekend for our little makeshift podcast room or whatever we have. Thank you guys again for doing this with me, and all the Flyover information and ticket link will be in the description in the bio. Is there any specific passwords or anything that people need to know about that, or it'll just
No,
be...
I think we'll just put the ticket link up actually the day that this airs, so it'll come out just
the
slightly
website is
early.
live. Yeah, like the website's up right now, but it just has like a countdown. So tickets will come out the 1st, which is a Wednesday, I believe, right? And it's
but I think we still want to put them on sale on the 1st. Got it. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Right? I thought that was the plan. Inside baseball.
Listen,
we'll figure it out.
We can do it. We can do whatever. But we can talk about it off air.
Yeah.
So
it'll be the lineup will come out 12 Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, and then on the 1st of August we'll announce the last 2.
Amazing. So just for the folks in the back, a Morningstar, Ankle Biter, Bazooka Tooth, Brat, Candy Apple, Caustic, Cold Shoulder, Contention, Days Lost, Doubt It, Downward, End Love, Enervate, Fading Signal, Free for All. I was trying so hard without having to stumble. Gagging Order, Gnaw, Gum, Hold My Own, Initiate, Inside You, Jive Bomb, Life Force, Livid, Morbid Visions, Mouth for War, No Cure, XXX, Peace Test, Prevention, Primitive Rage, Public Opinion, Rabbit, Rob Reed, Roman Candle, Sector, Sign Language, Sledge, Soul Dad, Sour, Spine, Squint, The Runts, The Tooth, Time Heist, World I Hate, This Was a Bad Decision, Wreckage, Your Spirit Dies, Bib, Restraining Order, End It, Pain of Truth, and motherfucking Flyover Fest 2023, November 17th and 19th. See you there. Thanks, guys, for coming on. This was really, really fun.
Of course.
Yeah,
Good.
thank you.